Hi everyone, Chris here. This is my go at rounding up some of my favourite New Zealand releases on vinyl for 2016. It's really hard to pick a list, so I'm not kind of even going to have a go at a definitive top 10. Just some of what I think are some of the more notable and interesting records that I think are worth checking out, and hopefully a couple that maybe are a little more under the radar that people don't know about they could check out. First up, a Dead Forest Index from brother duo Sam and Adam Sherry. This is a really beautiful record, their debut after a few EPs. I hadn't really heard much about these guys. I came across this album, really stunning vocals. In fact, the first time I heard this I thought it was a female singer, really beautiful. The kind of black and white kind of, I think, evokes that kind of ethereal, kind of ambient, thoughtful kind of sound of the music. Really great record. It's got, by the way, it's called In All That Drifts From Summit Down from a Dead Forest Index. That's the inner that goes with it. Next up, the Dance Asthmatics, Lifetime of Secretion. This is on Melted Ice Cream, a label I've talked about a bit, from Christchurch, who've moved on from additionally to their cassette releases doing vinyl. They put out a bunch of great records this year. I picked this one just because it's the one that I'm really thrashing at the moment. Kind of angular, post-punk, edgy, dark influences of things like Wire and Public Image Limited. Really great EP from Christchurch. I'll show you the inner sleeve on that one as well. Yeah, Melted Ice Cream, kind of one of those labels, in different vein musically, but to a bunch of labels like 112 or Fish Rider that you can just recommend and just go, anything that's on those labels is worth picking up. It's really great to see them emerge into the vinyl scene. Gate with Saturday Night Fever. He calls it, Mike Morley from Gate calls it a disco record, and it's got these kind of electronic disco kind of beats to it, following on from A Republic of Sadness, which came out in 2010, and I got to speak to Mike Morley at a festival a couple of months back, and he said they were actually recorded within a few months of each other, those albums, and he was a bit unsure about releasing this. In the interim, he's put out some more guitar based stuff, which is maybe what we'd expect from Gate, but this is a great record, really worth checking out. Also of note, but not in this pile, is the new Dead Sea record, Trouble, which came out this year, a double LP on Bada Bing. Really fantastic as well. There have been some great archival releases this year. This one stands out for the work that's gone into it. It's called The Way In Is The Way Out, the music of Murray McNabb on Sarang Records. So you've got this incredible heavy cardboard gatefold sleeve, and this collects together music from a whole lot of projects that jazz and experimental musician Murray McNabb has been involved in, from some of his jazz fusion outfits onto some more kind of I suppose more compository, experimental soundscape pieces as well. Really beautiful package, great music. Essay there, and that's on Sarang, as I say. Really standout archival release. Radio Norfolk from Ghost Wave. I just keep coming back to this record if I'm looking for something to listen to. So often this ends up on the turntable. It's kind of indie pop psych. It has this wooziness to it that I find really captivating. Great record on Flying Nun. Here's a fantastic self-released album from Mothra called Decision Process. What a labour of love. I mean, this is, again, gatefold. It's self-released, numbered edition of 250. This is 164. This is heavy post-rock soundscapes. As I say, beautiful job they've done of it. They've pressed it up on, so you've got coloured vinyl, so it looks amazing. Really interesting stuff. If you like things like Jacob, that kind of thing, you'll like this, although this is heavier. I think, more of a metal influence. Look at this, you've got this booklet in here, details, absolutely amazing stuff. And let's just take a quick look as well at the second disc, which again is coloured vinyl, but completely different. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? So that's Decision Process by Mothra. Again, another one of note, maybe in a similar vein, worth checking out is Caverns from Into Orbit, Wellington post-rock duo. That's a great record as well. The Raskolnikovs, At the Hour of Sunset. This EP I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. I really like it. It's got a bit of a dark kind of Nick Cave kind of vibe, maybe from the vocal style, but also this kind of Balkan, kind of gypsy kind of influence to the Eastern European sound to it. Things like accordion, melodica, on clarinet, trombone, so that kind of sound to the instrumentation. Really kind of great. Yeah, just it's kind of it's a touch dark, but also really joyful. They've put out a few EPs before on CD. This is their vinyl debut, and it's self-released. Really, really good. It's been a long time between albums for Steve Abel, and when Luck Hope came out this year, I think it was worth the wait. One of the standout records of the year. He's got this kind of fragility to his voice and to his songs, joined here by Jodie Holland from the Be Good Tanyas on a number of these. Some of the songs were recorded years ago. They've only just come out, and yeah, a great kind of fragile, cracked folk indie album. Showed this in a recent video. RMHQ, Roy Montgomery headquarters on Grapefruit Records, a 4 LP set of his ambient, harmonic, minor chord excellence. Yeah, going from albums with vocals to those to some very kind of layered, kind of drony kind of sounds. Real, just so much going on in this 4 LP set on Grapefruit Records. One that I intend to explore much more deeply over the coming summer holiday. And I'll round off with this. As I say, this isn't definitive. These are kind of, I've got a list I've been keeping throughout the year, and these are the ones that strike me at the moment. But this is a great record. This is Fizz, From Patterns to Detailed. An electronic artist, Oliver Perryman, originally from Wellington. He's put out a number of really great EPs over recent years. He put out a debut album, it was last year or the year before. This second album, I think, is just a step up. It's magnificent. Inspired by nature. You can kind of see on here this kind of detail of a flowering plant, but it looks like stars in here. And when I listen to this record, it sounds like it could be the soundtrack for some amazing documentary about how that stardust kind of formed together to form the planet and goes on to form life. It has this kind of deep kind of tone and yeah, amazing depth to it. Really, really interesting record. So although it's kind of electronic, I think people who like experimental noise music would find a lot in here. You know, people who like contemporary composition perhaps will find some stuff in here as well. It's using found sounds and heavily processing them. Yeah, really, really great record. Lots going on in here. That's From Patterns to Detail from Fizz. So, you know, ask me tomorrow, it'll be a different group of records, but that's some of what I think are some of the most interesting New Zealand records of 2016. Thanks for watching. Facebook.com/countingthebeat is where you can find out what I'll be listening to, buying, and so on over the summer. Cheers.